study about the dihybrid cross. Okay. In this particular type of experiment, Mendel had concentrated on two contrasting traits. Okay. We have seen that the pea plant, Pisum sativum, it has got 7 different contrasting traits which are easily visible. Out of that, when he concentrated on any two contrasting traits, it is known as a dihybrid cross. Okay. So we will study how the parental generation was taken. It was homozygous, okay, for both the traits. Then we will see how the gametes were formed, what type of gametes were formed, what was the outcome for the first filial generation, then the type of gametes which were formed by the F1 generation, and then lastly we will see what is the outcome of the F2 generation. At the F2 generation level, we will study how the phenotypic and genotypic ratios are there. Okay. So based on this, we will be able to predict what will be the outcome using the Punnett square. That square which we had drawn for tall and dwarf gametes, that is called as the Punnett square. Okay. Shall we begin? Yes? Okay, you can also take a rough book and pen with you. With me, you can write it down, or you can take the screenshots of the board so that you will be able to understand better. Alright, so now which two traits we will concentrate upon? We will see the rounded seeds and the yellow seeds. Okay, rounded and yellow. These are the dominant traits. Dominant means they are mostly found. Okay, so even if the one of the allele of chromosome is present, still it will be expressed. Okay, for recessive trait to be expressed, we know that both the alleles should be of the same type, right? So now let us see how the parental generation is for the dihybrid cross. Okay, now what we are learning? Dihybrid cross, which two traits are we going to study? The traits that we are going to study is the rounded seeds. This is the dominant trait, so it is written by the capital R, okay, denoted by capital R, and the yellow seeds, okay, the seeds which are rounded and yellow, these are the dominant traits, okay. That is why when they are crossed with the homozygous recessive trait, then it will be denoted by small r, okay, rounded and wrinkled, okay, rounded seed and wrinkled seed. Wrinkled seed is not denoted by W, but it is denoted by a small r, okay. Now what about the yellow seeds? Yellow color is the dominant color, green color is the recessive color, but we will not write small g, we will use the symbol small y, okay. So these are the parental generation. How is the parental generation? Genotype. The genotype is homozygous. Okay. The parental generation, here I will write here parent. These are the parents. Parental generation. How is it? It is homozygous. They are homozygous. What is the meaning of homozygous? Homozygous means both the alleles are of the same type. Okay, both the alleles are of the same type. Then we call it as a homozygous genotype. Okay, this is the genotype. Now, how is the phenotype of these two parental generation? This parent will be rounded and yellow. Okay, this is the phenotype of the first parent. Okay, that is with the dominant gene. This is the dominant gene. And what is the phenotype of the second parent? This will be wrinkled and green. Wrinkled and green. Small r stands for wrinkled and small y stands for green. Understood? This is the phenotype. Okay, this is the phenotype of the parental generation. And when we represent capital R, capital Y, small y, what are we representing? We are representing the genotype. Okay, this is the homozygous genotype. The genotype of the parental generation is homozygous because they are called the pure recessive genes. Okay, recessive genes means the genes which need the same type of gene to get expressed. If they have the other type of allele, then it will not be expressed. Only the dominant allele will be expressed. Is it understood?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so now we will see what happens when these two are crossed together. First of all, they will form the gametes. When these two are mature, they will form the gametes. So we will see how to write the gametes. What type of gametes will this parent form? Okay, what are the gametes that will be formed? So this is the genotype of the parent. Okay, parental generation, it can also be written as P1. Okay, so here R small y. Okay, now gametes which will be formed. How will be the gametes? Let us see. The gametes formed from here. Each and every gamete, that is each and every pollen or each and every ovule, will have both the traits. They will have one chromosome for the roundness and one chromosome for the color. Okay, so both of them should be present in the gamete. So the gametes formed by this one, this parent, will be of the four types, that of two types, capital R, capital Y, okay, and capital R, capital Y. These are the pollen grains that are formed over here. And suppose these are the ovules. How will be the gametes? Both the gametes will have one small r, one small y, one small r and one small. So these are the gametes. Okay, this is the genotype of the gamete which is formed. Now let us see what happens when these gametes fuse together to form the zygote. That is the F1 generation. Now F1 generation, that is first filial generation, will be formed by the fusion of these gametes. Suppose this is the pollen and this is the ovule. So one pollen grain and one ovule will fuse together in the fertilization process. Okay, so what will we get? We will be getting the F1 generation. F1 generation. Okay, F1 generation we are going to get over here. So let us see what happens when this pollen fuses with this particular ovule. This pollen grain is fusing with this ovule. What will be the genotype of the F1 generation over here? F1 generation will obviously be heterozygous. Okay, it is going to be heterozygous because it will have both the types of alleles. The allele for roundness and the allele for wrinkled seed. Okay. So let us write the genotype. Capital R from here, small r from here, capital Y from here and small y from here. Okay, so this is the phenotype, the genotype of the first filial generation. Okay, and what will be the phenotype? How will they look? Now we know that the phenotype of the first parent was rounded and yellow. All of the seeds of the first the P1 generation, they are rounded and yellow for the pollen grain. And from where the ovule has come, that ovule, all of them are wrinkled and green seeds. Okay, but when they form the gametes, when these two gametes come together, we have seen that here we are getting heterozygous type of zygote. It is heterozygous, that is both the genes are present, but both cannot be expressed. That is, the seed cannot be both rounded as well as wrinkled. It cannot be yellow and green. It has to be any one. So which is the dominant character that is going to be expressed. Okay, so that also we will see. Now suppose this pollen grain combines with this ovule. This pollen grain is combining with this ovule. It is possible. So what will happen? We will get the genotype of the same type. Again the same type of genotype is there. Heterozygous, one rounded gene, one wrinkled gene, one yellow gene and one green gene. Okay. Now, in the other way, if this pollen grain fuses with this ovule, still the same outcome will be there. Heterozygous for rounded and green seeds, yellow seeds. Okay. Suppose this pollen is combining with this ovule. Still the outcome is the genotype of the first filial generation. What will be the phenotype? How will they appear? Okay, phenotype means their appearance. What we can see. Now you can see that here the dominant gene is present. Okay, so naturally the recessive gene will be suppressed. It will not be seen. It will be present, but it will not be expressed. So the phenotype of the first filial generation, okay, phenotype of F1 will be that all of them will be rounded and yellow. They will all be rounded and yellow because each and every one of them is heterozygous. Each and every one of them is heterozygous. That is, they have both the types of genes. One is the dominant and one is the recessive for both the characters. Understand? So naturally the dominant gene will be expressed. The recessive gene cannot be expressed in the presence of the dominant gene. Understand? So all of the F1 generation, all of them will show rounded and yellow seeds. Is it clear? Everyone? Okay, so for this you can, now we know that all of them are of the same type, so we will take only one representative, that is one pollen and one ovule. Okay? Now these will act as the parental generation for the next one. Like suppose the first parent that we had taken, that was the grandparents, then we have got now the parents. Okay? So we will see how we can represent this. So we will take one pollen which is heterozygous as we have seen just now. One capital R, one small r, one capital Y, one small y. Okay? Suppose this is the pollen. Suppose this is the pollen. Okay? And this is the ovule. Again, what is the genotype of the ovule? It is also same. Capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. Okay? This is understood? So what Mendel did, that he self-pollinated the first filial generation. That is, he pollinated the first filial generation with the own type of flower. Okay? He took the pollen from the first filial generation and crossed it with the ovule of the first filial generation itself. Okay? So now he knew that they are all heterozygous. Now what is the first step in reproduction? The formation of gametes, isn't it? Formation of gametes is the first step in reproduction. So now first filial generation will also form the gametes. That is, when they mature, they are also going to form the ovules and the pollen. Okay? So let us see what type of pollen will be formed from here. We are going to get two types of pollen. Let us see. So the gametes that are being formed. Gametes of first filial generation. So of course the gametes will also have both the traits. That is the trait for the roundness, that is the shape of the seed as well as the color of the seed. Okay. So now let us see what is happening. One of the gamete will have one capital R, one small y, one capital Y. Okay. Capital R, small capital Y. This is one of the type of gamete that is being formed. Now this capital R is there. Suppose it combines with the small y to form the gamete. One pollen grain will be formed in this manner. Okay. Next type of pollen that is going to be formed will be the small r. Now both capital R are over. So small r, capital Y. Next will be small r and small y. Okay. So four types of pollen grains can be formed from here. Okay. Four types can be formed. So you can see that first one is having both the dominant traits. It is homozygous for dominant. Here you have the one dominant trait, one recessive trait. Here also one recessive trait, one dominant trait. And here both the traits are recessive. Okay. Now same thing will happen with the ovule also. I will just shift this to that side. types of ovules that will be formed. They will be similar to this. Okay, the capital R, this capital R and this capital Y, they will go into one ovule. The other ovule will have one capital R and one small y. Third ovule will have one small r, capital Y. And the fourth one will have both the recessive genes. Okay. Now you have to understand that 4 different types of gametes have been formed. Any of these gametes can combine with any of the other gametes. Any pollen can combine with any ovule. That is possible. That is up to nature. So we have to try and understand what will happen in each and every case. Suppose now this first gamete is combining with this first gamete. Okay, the pollen which is having both the dominant genes is combining with both the dominant genes of the ovule. Now representing this over here is going to be little difficult. Okay, so there is a system called as a Punnett square, which is used to represent the combinations, the various combinations that take place. Okay, before going to the Punnett square, I will just show you how this is possible. Okay, so F2 generation is going to be formed over here. What is going to be formed? F2 generation. Okay, F2 generation can be formed in many different ways. This pollen can combine with this ovule. It can combine with this ovule, it can combine with this ovule, or it can also combine with this ovule. So, lot of combinations are possible in the dihybrid cross, and that is why it becomes difficult to represent it like this. Same manner, if I take this pollen, it will also be able to combine with any of the 4. This will be able to combine with any of the 4, and here I will get a mesh which will be impossible for me to understand. Is it clear? For the monohybrid cross we had only single trait. So here only we were able to represent it. Now I will teach you how to represent these combinations in a Punnett square. Okay? So just a minute. Understood why it is not possible to show like this? It is possible, but it is very difficult to comprehend, to understand. Clear? Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, someone just please take a screenshot for the presenting. Now I will draw the Punnett square and you will understand this better. Now I will just keep these over here for the time being. Okay, here is the right hand. Now how many types of gametes do we have? 4 types? Yes, there are 4 types over here and 4 types over here. So my Punnett square will also have the square which is having 4 compartments. Okay. Okay. So here I have a setup where I can combine all the different types of gametes. One more thing before we go further, we will just keep one more box for the actual gamete. That is the gametes to be written over here. Okay, one more box I will just make. These 4 I will get the results over here, and here I am going to show the actual gametes which I already have. So this gametes which are forming the pollen grain, I will write them on the top in the horizontal manner. Okay. Over here what is there? I am getting the pollen grains. Okay. The pollen will be over here in the horizontal line. So I will take this capital R, capital Y, capital R, small y. Then I have my small r, capital Y, and small r, small y. Okay. So what have I done? I have taken each type of gamete and I am putting it in the horizontal line. All these are the pollen grains. In the vertical line, I will take the ovules. All the different types of ovules. Okay. So ovules will go down over here. are the types of ovules? Again the similar type is there. Capital R, capital Y, capital R, small y, small r, capital Y, and small r and small y. Understood? So it is just like a multiplication table where I have the number to be multiplied by the other number. So which I am going to multiply like this, we are going to cross. Cross simply means to multiply. Okay. So here now let us see what will happen if, okay, capital R, capital Y ovule combines with each and every type of pollen. Okay. The ovule is ready over there in the ovary. The pollen is going to come and fuse with it, isn't it? So now I will keep the ovule as it is. So naturally the genes which are there in the ovule will be there, isn't it? So I will already have capital R, capital Y. Now pollen has brought capital R, capital Y. What will be the phenotype of my zygote, of the zygote which is formed? Naturally it will have both of these. Understand that gametes are haploid in nature. Haploid means they have half the number of chromosomes as compared to the parent. Okay, and the zygote again becomes diploid. That is, both the chromosomes come together to again regain the same number of chromosomes as the parent. Okay, gamete will be haploid, whereas zygote is diploid. That is, for each character it will have two alleles. Okay, one from the mother, one from the father. That is, one from pollen, one from ovule. Okay, so we will write the first outcome over here. The first outcome that I am getting is capital R, capital R, capital Y, capital Y. Okay, so if this ovule combines with this particular pollen grain, I will get homozygous zygote, that is, and dominant. All the genes are of the dominant type. That is, how will be the seeds? What will be the phenotype of this? It will be rounded and yellow, isn't it? All the seeds coming from this combination, they will be rounded and yellow. Understood? Can you make the further combinations? Easy. It is extremely interesting, very interesting. Only have to go one step at a time. So we will combine this ovule with each and every pollen, and we will see what is the outcome. Okay. Now here we have got the first combination. Okay. Pollen, both are capital over here. Understood? So this is the third type of combination that we have got. Even if the genotype is different, how will all of them look? All of them will be rounded and yellow, because each and every one has got at least one dominant gene. Okay. Now let us see the next combination. Capital R, small r. Capital Y, small y. What do you think? How will this seed look? Now the genotype is again different, but the phenotype will be the same. It will still be rounded and yellow because one dominant gene is present. So understand here that genotype is different in each case, but phenotype is the same, at least for all of them. Okay, let us go to the next combination. Capital R. Now we will combine this ovule with each and every pollen grain. Okay, now this is the ovule that we have got. One capital R, one small y. Okay, let us see the combination. Capital R, capital R, capital Y, small y. Okay, have you got this similar combination anywhere else? Here can you see? Capital R, capital Y, small y. So I will use the same color over here, so that it will be very obvious. Afterwards we have to count how many different combinations we have. Okay, so are they the same? Genotype is same? Yes, genotype is same and phenotype is also same. Okay, now let us go to the next combination. Capital R, capital R. Okay, small y, small y. Till now we have not got this combination. Okay, so capital R, I'll take another color. Just capital R, small y, small. Okay, third combination. Capital R, small y, capital Y. Do we have that combination? Over here you can see. One capital R, one small r, one capital Y and one small y. Let us write it. Okay, so one more thing to remember here, whether the dominant gene is coming from colon or whether it is coming from ovule, always you will write the capital one first and then write the small or recessive gene. Okay, third, next combination, capital R, small r and 2 small y. Do we have that? No. So again we will write it in a different color. One capital R, one small r and 2 small y. Now here tell me, what will be the phenotype? How will this seed look? Rounded and green. Very good. That means you people have understood this. It will be rounded and green. It does not have the dominant gene for yellow color. So no question of yellow. It will look green. This is the first green seed that we have got. Okay, right. Now let us make the next combination, that is we will use this ovule and combine it with each and every pollen grain. Okay, yes. So here we have one small r, one capital R and 2 capital Y. Do we have that type of combination? Similar combination? Yes? Okay, so we will use the similar color so that afterwards it becomes easy to count. Okay, capital Y. Again this seed will be rounded and yellow. Rounded and yellow. Okay, next combination, small r, capital Y, capital Y. Do we have that combination yet? No, that combination is now the first time it is coming, so we will write it with a different color. Small r, capital Y and small y. Phenotype will be wrinkled and yellow. Wrinkled and yellow because there is no dominant gene for roundness over here. Okay. Now the next combination, small r, capital Y, small y. Do we have that combination yet? 2 small r and 1 small y and 1 capital Y. Over here you can see that combination. No. 2 small r, we will take here 2 small r. 2 small r, 1 capital Y and 1 small y. What will be the phenotype? How will this seed look? Wrinkled and yellow. Yes. Now the last ovule that we have got, we will combine this ovule with all of the other pollen grains. Now understand here this ovule has only the recessive genes. Only recessive genes are there. So what combination? Capital R, capital Y, small y. Okay, just like this. You can see that there is an oblique line of the same traits that we have got. 1 capital R, 1 small r. Capital Y, small y. So over here you can see all of these 4 Next combination of this ovule with this pollen grain. What will be the combination? 1 small r, 1 capital R and 2 small y. 1 capital R, 1 small r and 2 small y. We have got that combination over here. Yes? So let us write it. Capital R, small r and 2 small y. The seed will be rounded and green. It will be rounded and green. Okay? Now next combination, small r, capital Y, small y. Where do we have that? Over here. Similar type of phenotype. This is called as the genotype. R small, 1 capital Y, 1 small y. Okay? How will this seed be? Wrinkled and yellow. Now the last time, this we have not got till now. Okay? The first time this combination is coming, there are all recessive genes. Each and every gene is of the recessive type. So here small r, small y. How will this seed be? heterozygous. Only the first and the last, they are homozygous. Homozygous means both the alleles are of the same type. So in this, all of these different combinations, there are only 2 homozygous combinations. Otherwise, all of them, whatever is their phenotype, they are heterozygous. So this is called as the homozygous dominant zygote. Okay, homozygous dominant, because it has got all the dominant alleles. And here this is the homozygous recessive zygote. Okay, because all the gametes which it will form when it matures, when it becomes of the reproductive age, when they form the pollen or ovule, all of the pollen or ovule formed by them will be of recessive type. And for here, all of the gametes coming from this particular parent will be of the dominant type. Understand? Understood? Now, what is the phenotypic ratio? First of all, let us see what is the result of our experiment. This is the experiment that Mendel had done. What is the result? What is the outcome? So, what is the phenotypic ratio that we have to see? For finding the phenotypic ratio, you have to understand first how many phenotypes have you got. Okay, there are various 4 different combinations that are there. Okay, in the phenotype there are 4 combinations. Which are the 4 combinations? The first combination is that the seed may either be rounded and yellow. It may be rounded and yellow, isn't it? Second combination is that it can be wrinkled and yellow. Third combination is that it can be rounded and green. Rounded and green. And the fourth combination is that it can be wrinkled and green. Now obviously, looking at the table, there is only one combination for the fourth one. Wrinkled and green, only this type of combination can give you. So we will write the number in front of it. Wrinkled and green, we have got only 1. Okay? Now, rounded yellow. When will you get rounded and yellow? If at least one of the allele is dominant. Okay? So let us count over here how many are there which have at least one rounded and yellow genes, alleles. For 1, this is going to be rounded and yellow. Okay? Just keep on counting. So 1. Okay? This will also be rounded and yellow. So 2. Rounded and yellow. 3. Rounded and yellow. 4. Rounded yellow. 5. Correct? How will this be? Rounded and green. So we will not consider it just now. We will just rounded and green. We will just put another color for that. This is rounded and green. Okay? 1. How will this be? Rounded and yellow. Let us come back here. Rounded and yellow. Okay? How will this be? Rounded and green. Rounded and green. Just like this, the phenotype will be rounded and green. So we'll put it over here. How will this be? Rounded and yellow. Okay? So third type, I'll just write here rounded and green. Okay? This is rounded yellow. Okay? And rounded and wrinkled green. Okay, or better way we will do only these 2 just now, and then the third one obviously it will be clear. Rounded yellow, we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, this is also rounded yellow. 7, rounded yellow. 8, then rounded yellow. 9. Okay, rounded yellow 9. Now these will not be rounded. This will be rounded, but it will be green. This will be wrinkled and yellow. So we have got 9 of these. So here you can write rounded yellow. You have got 9 combinations which will give you this phenotype. Rounded yellow phenotype we are getting 9. Okay. second combination, rounded and green. Rounded and green. Let us see. Rounded means you should have capital R at least one, and you should have at least one small y, two small y. If you have one capital Y, then it will become yellow. Okay. So now rounded and green. That means we have to look for the combinations which has at least one capital R and two small y. So where do you get two small y? 1, 2 and 3. Yes. So 1, 2 and 3. These have two small y. That is, they will be green in color, but they have at least one capital R, so they will be rounded. Okay. So we have got rounded and green. We have got 3 number of seeds. Okay. Then the last combination, wrinkled and yellow. Wrinkled yellow. Wrinkled means you should have both small r. Then only it will be wrinkled. Otherwise it will not be wrinkled. Okay. Wrinkled and yellow. For yellow you need the capital Y. At least one capital Y. Okay. So two small r and at least one capital Y, or it can be R, R, Y, Y. That is also okay. Now let us find these. Where can you find small r? Only at the bottom you are getting them. Okay, over here at least one capital R is there. So this will be rounded and yellow. Okay, wrinkled and yellow, wrinkled and yellow, and wrinkled and yellow. So how many are you getting? 3 combinations. So what is the phenotypic ratio of dihybrid cross? Phenotypic ratio is 9:3:3:1. Okay, the phenotypic ratio of dihybrid cross is always 9:3:3:1. Understood? Understood? Huh? So all the different combinations you have to write here, and you have to check in the Punnett square. For getting this phenotype, you should have, for getting the dominant phenotype, you should have at least one dominant allele. But for getting the recessive phenotype, that is when we are looking for wrinkled, we should have all the small r smaller. Both the r should be small. Then only it will become wrinkled. If we are looking for green, we should have both small y, small y. If at least one capital Y is there, then it will become yellow. Okay? Understood? Now genotypic ratio also you can find out by putting all the various combinations together. Okay? This